Hey, I'm Jonathan, and I live in London, England.
Hey, I'm Jeff, and I live in Perth, Australia.
Together, we are Ekko and Sidetrack.
We produce music that sounds like this.
And this.
And even this. This podcast is about music, creativity, and everything in between the giant space that separates us.
Welcome to A Band Apart with Ekko and Sidetrack. Today's episode of A Band Apart with Ekko and Sidetrack is brought to you by Short Order Burger Co. I, for one, believe it's the best burger in Perth, Australia. And whether you live in Perth and you haven't tried it, or whether you're going to go to Perth and you're looking for the best burger, I advise you go to this place. They've got two stores, one on Hay Street in the city, 800 Hay Street, and one in Fremantle at 3 William Street. The Fremantle is a new store. It looks like an absolute vibe. Great place to go for a drink and enjoy a big old burger. This week, the code word has changed. When you go into the store, say reunited for a 10% discount on your order. That is code word reunited for a 10% discount at Short Order. Go out there and enjoy a burger, yo. We have announced our first Perth headline show together in 18 months. It is called Ekko and Sidetrack Reunited, and it is going to happen on the 22nd of May at the Court. It's a Saturday, it's a day party that goes into the night, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. We're bringing down some of our favourite Perth drum and bass friends, such as Terrence and Philip, another brother duo, our friend Mannequin, our friend Yadaman, Ember, the Proto Code guys are doing an epic back-to-back, and quite a few others. General release tickets are now on sale, so you can follow the link on our Instagram, or on our Facebook, or there's a link directly in the Facebook event. Get your tickets, it's going to be amazing. I'm super hyped to play my first Perth show in 18 months. Like, I can't literally wait. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to party with you all. See ya. This is the most intense podcast I think we've done so far.
We're staring into each other's eyes, and we're in the same room, and we've got the proper microphones
in the studio. This is where like all the next 50 podcasts will probably occur.
Yeah, though I didn't mind doing it
remotely
off. I was going to say off bone, but that's definitely not what the term is. Yeah, like off base, because it means you can be kind of relaxed about it, and you can have a wine and you can do it. If the system works, we just got to make sure my recorder doesn't go down halfway. Sorry about that, dear listener. There was like another 25 minutes of conversation, but it's lost.
Like tears in rain.
It is.
I wanted to open this podcast with the last question that I was going to ask you.
Yes.
That we kind of finished the last one with.
Oh, yeah.
Is that okay?
That's fine if you remember it.
I do. We were talking about how I had become more like Jonathan, more like a Jonathan, and how we know who we are when we're together. Sorry, we know who we are. We know who we are when we're together. And because we spend so much time together, we're always like this. We're like a double meal, if you will. We're usually together, not exactly connected by the hip, but we haven't spent much time apart. And the past 18 months apart has allowed us to know ourselves without the other one.
Yeah, totally.
And you had asked me how I had got to know myself without you. So now I'm asking you, how have you become more like Jeff without a Jonathan?
I think I've gained some more autonomy in my existence. I've always been pretty what's the word?
Autonomous?
Like I do consider myself someone who
symbiotic. What are like those little reef sharks and those little fish that swim under a shark?
Oh no,
It's
I'm
the
the,
relationship that they have.
they have a symbiotic
Symbiotic
relationship.
relationship. I don't think we have a symbiotic relationship.
I think we
So-
do. We do work together.
Yeah.
You're not an epiphyte. An epiphyte is the plant that grows within another plant,
Yeah.
like steals its juice.
We're like two penguins mated for life, except just friends.
Yeah, I think.
And they're also brothers.
And I think analogies shouldn't have a but in it. But what I was going to say is, I think, the autonomousness that I've had, like, I'd say I'm pretty assertive,
Yeah.
even sometimes to a fault.
Yeah.
And I think while I consider other people, I've gotten a little bit better in our career and in music and in DJing and in making decisions for us.
Mm.
I've gotten better at doing that since you've been away.
Okay,
In
so
the way that fuck, why is my brain not working very well? In the kind of way that, like, some things don't need to become a democracy. So I got good at making decisions.
So you've become more comfortable with being as assertive as you were,
Yeah, but also I think
and realized that maybe we don't. When before maybe both of us would make a decision, now one of us can kind of just pull the trigger on something, and the letting go to some extent.
yeah, maybe.
So you've kind of learnt, and I'm just putting words in your mouth, but you've probably learnt to trust me a bit more, or
Yeah.
work better in a partnership.
Yeah, maybe work better in a partnership. Whereas previously, no, I have learned to work better in a partnership, but I've also learned how to do more of the jobs in the partnership.
Yeah.
So I can, and I think I've learned to work a little bit smarter in some of the ways, in some of the processes that we do.
Yeah.
As you saw this afternoon when I was like, dude, I really just want to make music. So can you please go into the other room and do what you had to do? You had to write this little script for something else we were working on. And you were happy enough to just let me be. And I just wanted an hour to work on music because that's where my energy was. And then I could sit down and I could get a good hour out. Whereas maybe previously it might have been like a bit more of a slower work process. I think I've gotten some assertiveness when it comes to production, as in, like, I can just work a bit faster.
I think you've just gotten more used to being by yourself.
Yes, probably.
I think that's kind of what it is. I don't think necessarily that's a slimming down of workflow or anything like that. I think you've just got pretty used to coming into the studio and doing whatever the fuck you want, or not replying to a message. And just as I was used to just doing whatever the fuck I wanted, and now that we're together in the same room, suddenly you have to, and I have to, kind of go back to a scenario when we both want to do something. So, like, today is a good example. Like, I was wanting to do one thing and thinking we could do that, but obviously it's more important to you, and you had that itch to do something on this particular song we're working on. And whereas before, when we're separate, we could you'd be like, just call me in an hour.
Yeah.
Or you can ignore a message. Or, you know what, at that time, I wouldn't have been up. So you've kind of got this, like, you've probably got more of like a bubble, a comfortable bubble. We both have, or had, kind of these kind of like bubbles where we can work how we want to work without thinking about the other, which I definitely think has allowed us to figure out how we work differently.
Mm.
And it's part of the challenge of coming back together and being like, okay, so this is when I need to give Jono space, or this is when I need to give Jeff space.
Yep.
To allow for things to happen, and kind of respect the autonomy that both of us have realized. Whereas before, I do think there's quite a lot of people pleasing. There's a people pleasing kind of attitude towards each other. Like both of us had to agree on everything to some extent. Like we'll both do this, we'll both do that. And I think now we're much more. It comes more naturally now to just be like to be separate.
Yeah.
To be separate, and that's fine. It's okay that I go off and do this, and it's okay that you go off and do that.
Yeah, I think we're going to be more powerful that way.
I think so. I mean, we've talked about this on the podcast before, but do you remember when we were younger and it'd be like our washing would be finished and you'd want the other person to come and help you, and it would be like, we'll just do it quicker. When both of us will do it, it'll be done quicker.
Yeah.
And it's this idea that both of us have to go through the same thing together.
Yeah.
And I think that doesn't come as naturally now. Like obviously if I've got 3 loads of washing to hang out and I'm going to be, or I've got something shitty to do, I'd obviously want you to come with me. But yeah, I think that autonomy has definitely changed the dynamic to some extent.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really sorry, but my brain is broken. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just a bit like frazzled from the day. But no, you're exactly right. And I'm hoping that we can bring the best things we've learnt from working independently into working together. And that is like saying yes more, being able to let the other person do their thing for a bit and reap the benefits of that kind of thing.
Well, that's actually one of the other things that we talked about. We talked about, on the second half of the last podcast, we talked about the ability to say sure.
Oh, yeah.
So do you want to explain that to the listener?
Yeah. So probably about 2 years ago, I started saying sure a lot more because I found my default setting was no. And that was particularly when it came to social things, which I was probably neglecting for a while.
And these are questions, someone asks you, hey, Jeff, do you want to go have a beer this day? Or, hey, Jeff, you want to come to my daughter's bar mitzvah? These questions of, so going to social interactions, is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the response was often no, I can't because X.
Mm-hmm.
And so no started becoming really easy. And I wanted to start socializing more. I wanted to start seeing my friends more. And I realized that I would actually be more productive if I did, because instead of pushing and grinding so hard up here and saying no to everything and then being butthurt that I missed out, I could say yes and I'd actually be better having some time off.
Mm-hmm.
But yes is hard. Yes is super keen.
Yeah.
Yes is, Jeff, would you like a coffee? Yes, please. Easy decision. Absolute. Yes, I can do it. Jeff, do you want to come with me to Melbourne in 2 weeks' time? Yes. By saying yes, that's so sure, so like
you're committing to it.
It's a big commitment. And so I started, in place of yes, I put in sure, which is easier to say. It's softer. And it's like, yeah, of course. It's like, sure. So sure can become the default setting with anything from social engagement to, do you have a preference over bread choice with your toast? Not that I really eat bread, but that kind of thing. So it can be like, sure, yeah. It also gives you more bandwidth.
Yeah.
Because you're not saying no and then having to reason. You can just be like, yeah, cool. That's a decision that is all good.
It's almost like a softer I don't care.
Yeah, but it's not also it's also
like,
not an I don't care because
Yeah.
it's a yeah, of course.
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's like a, if you say, I'm going to get I'm going to either buy Heineken's or I'm going to buy Coronas. Which one? And I could
Sure.
go, not which one, but like, how are you feeling? You're just like, yeah, sure. Or whatever the actual question would be. But it wouldn't be, instead of going like, I don't care, because someone's offering to do something and here's, I don't care. And people usually get defensive and will be like, oh, if you don't care, I won't get you anything. But if you just go, sure.
And I don't mind seems is just another word. Is indecisive.
Indecisive.
Sure is like, sure.
Sure is just like, yeah.
Do you guys want to go for breakfast then go to the pool?
Sure.
Sure. It becomes an easier thing to say rather than me being like because I was thinking of reasons not to say no. Not because I fucking hate my friends or I hate socializing, because I thought I had other work to do.
Yeah.
I would be like, no, I've got to be in the studio. No, I'm really busy with that thing.
Yeah.
And I could just be like, I'm just going to start saying sure. Again, yes is, try it. Try say yes to someone. Next time someone asks you a thing, just say the word yes. It feels so committal. It's quite scary. But then just say sure.
I think it's pretty important to use the terms like yes, no, sure, and actually mean them.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I felt like I could say sure and mean it.
And then when you said no, it didn't just feel like you were saying no all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a placeholder. It's
boundary setting, really.
And also sure is closer to yes. And I will get around to the point where I can just say, yes, I'd love to come to your child's bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's easy just to say sure. I don't know. I don't think I've explained that very well. I think my brain is.
What's going on with your brain?
I think it hasn't happened for a minute, but I think I'm quite hungry, and I'm also like my brain is like been elsewhere for the last 3 hours, whether it's on music, on rolling out this social media stuff we've been doing, and all of a sudden being thrust into a conversation. It's like a little bit. I'm catching up a bit, and I'm like trying to be on, but not, and then I'm like I should have ate something. But it's fine.
Would you like to have an eating break?
No. I'm good. But I'm like
aware of it.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. So ask me some more mind-bending questions. Hi, I'm here all night.
Well, you don't have to be on. But yeah, I understand what you mean.
I feel like I'm not making any sense either.
I feel like that every time we record a podcast. But usually the feedback is fairly positive.
It is. Thank you for listening, listeners.
I think it's being in a room as well, like, for a long time.
Yeah, I do have a bit of cabin fever in the studio today, but we've done really good work. So, like, we should keep the energy flowing, and we're going to get on with another tune after this. We had a meeting today, and we talked all about the new music that we want to play at our Reunited show, and there's a chunk to work on. So it's it has been a bit like of a chopping and changing kind of day, like wearing many hats.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. I think it's difficult to. I mean, now I'm not making any sense or struggling to come up with a thought. I think when you work for yourself, you have to come to terms with the fact that you're going to have to change your hat a lot. Like, as much as we would love to be able to come up here, or someone that's producing
anything,
any creative essentially, or any fucking job you do, there's always going to be the admin side or the meetings side or like
the non-fun bit.
The non-fun stuff. And I think today's probably been a pretty good balance of non-fun stuff and fun stuff. But some days you just do want to come up and fucking work on music and not have to answer an email or not have to come up with a fucking
We've had two
social media plan or
We've had
like
two
whatever.
meetings today, like meetings, quote unquote, where we sat down and we've taken notes with each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, and sometimes we get a bit like, oh, and you just have to create something. But I think we've done well. Like I said, we've done well to create today.
Yeah, I think that's the most positive thing, to be able to come out of it, and even if you haven't done maybe what you were expecting to do, still feeling like you've worked the day.
Yeah, sometimes that's why.
There's been movement forward.
Yeah, I think journaling helps with that, and I'm desperate to get back into that habit.
And my journal's fucked. I actually looked at it last night, and like it had this demotivate. It was sad. I really just was like, fuck it.
Change the language. Your journal's not fucked. Your journal is.
My journaling practice is pretty dismal at the moment. Even in quarantine.
Your journaling practice is something you're working on.
Yeah, it's something I'm working on. I think I've written in it 3 times in the mornings in the past week and none at night.
Mm.
And only because I woke up and felt compelled to record something.
Oh my God. That reminds me, I haven't listened to your dream, that 7-minute voice memo you left me.
I left you a 7-minute voice memo?
Yeah.
When?
Oh, a while ago, like 2 weeks ago or something. When you were in quarantine, I think.
Really?
Yeah. We should listen to it.
Do you want to listen to it and play it on the podcast?
We'll see. Finish your thought. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's
you
fine.
Just saying.
Oh, like I just want to get back on the journaling, the practice, because I did find it so helpful. You know, I think I read you and Holly as a passage from the journal on the weekend. Like, I've recorded bits of my life that were interesting, and I found it cathartic. And I always advise people to journal and to do that kind of stuff. And at the moment, I'm not doing it.
Man, I was so good. I did morning pages every day. I did journaling every night. I have a book and a half of like 8 months, maybe a bit more.
What?
And it was really good. Just like it's a lovely bookend, and it teaches you, and it allows you to consolidate your thoughts.
Yeah.
I find, and sometimes my thoughts and feelings get a little bit like all over the place. And that's like, if you can do some writing in the morning and writing at night, it definitely helps.
What do you think changed?
Some of my socializing, probably. Also, some of my requirement, my belief of needing to, like,
Yeah.
it's that thing that Matthew McConaughey said. It's like you journal when you're down or you're something, so you need that pep talk. And when things are good,
You don't need
you
to do
don't.
it. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think I've missed a few moments because I haven't been journaling, and I want to record them because they're important to me. And like, it almost makes me feel like a bit tense that I'm like, it's like you didn't take any photos at your friend's birthday, and you're like, that really magical moment happened, and I've got good memories, but like, I wouldn't mind having a little recorded thing of it. And it's also a great practice to help you, like, I think, like, work out how you feel. Like, I tend to write to order my thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely helps. So it's something I'm working on to try and get back into. And that has started by me putting my book next to my bed every night and looking at it and being like, I'm tired. I can't do it. And then also saying, that's okay. But tonight, I will write in it.
Let's both journal tonight.
Yeah, let's do it.
I've been feeling that way and I don't know whether it's because I've just been tired when I'm going to bed. I have also felt the pull of the phone. This morning was the first time I've woken up. The first time I've woken up in quite a few days. Probably I was doing it in quarantine. Just fucking looking at my phone, for at least half an hour.
It's terrible, man.
And it's like, and I was pretty good at it. Like I got out of that habit.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
And then like, fuck, man, the other morning, maybe it was on like Tuesday. I don't know. The other morning, I fucking was like watching YouTube videos and shit in the morning.
At least that's more productive than just like scrolling through Instagram and then being like, oh, and then like you check
then you
Twitter
keep going.
and then you're like, I'm going to go back to Instagram.
And then
what are you doing? Get up. And you're like,
yeah.
bed's warm. I'm going to see, I'm going to read that article. Sometimes I'll read a news article. Yeah, I can be terrible, man. Like I really want to get my phone in another room and use an egg timer to wake up. No, I don't know what it would be to wake up.
Get those alarms. Remember that alarm that you guys got me for fucking my birthday when I was like 19?
Yeah.
They had like a little helicopter that...
No, it was a string. You stuck it to the roof and it had a piece of string. No, hear it out.
This is not the one you got me though.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, one of the alarms was like it was so you stick it to the roof.
Yeah.
And over the course of the night, it drops down and then it goes off like right in your face and then it starts to retract. And so you basically have to stand up on your bed to be able to get it off there.
That's a really good idea.
And by the time you've stood up and everything, you're awake. Yeah, yours was...
Mine was like a little helicopter that like when the alarm went off, it popped off and flew on the other side of the room and it wouldn't stop until you found it. But one time I put it on when I was drunk and I think I woke up and I was like probably still drunk and I just like, I couldn't find where it went. Like maybe it went behind a desk or something and I just smashed the shit out of the alarm.
Whoa.
Just like a monkey. And
I always wondered what happened to that.
yeah, I just broke it, man. It lasted like 2 weeks.
Because you going to bed drunk and then waking up for your work when you worked as a chef when you were 18 was the most annoying thing. In it, like,
do you remember what my alarm was?
Oh my god, what's it called? It's not called radar, is it?
No, it wasn't that. It was
Submarine.
It was the Kiss song. I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. But it would be like
coming through a shitty phone speaker.
128 KB.
But then when you got an iPhone, there was also the burp, burp,
Oh yeah,
burp.
I was a big proponent of the alarm because I was like, it sounds like something really is going
Yeah,
wrong.
but then
so
you'd
it's gonna
set
wake
like
me up more.
You'd set like 14 of them at 3-minute intervals.
Yeah.
Then you'd snooze them,
Yeah.
and by the 7th one, you'd get up, and the other 4 had like.
Do you know how
kicked off.
many people
Oh man,
I fucked off in my life, partners and like housemates, because of my alarm system? I would say that's
it's
like
not a system. It's fucking chaos.
I would say that's like a character fault I have. I'm sure a lot of other people have it, but like the fact that I'm such a snoozer and try to like plan my snooze, like I can look at my phone right now and I have an alarm for every 7 minutes from 5 a.m. till maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow, I have 5, maybe 5. I've got 2 that I use. I just change them to be my wake up alarms, and I do set 2 alarms. But I'll get up on the first one. The second one's meant to say get off your phone if you're on your phone.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But
that's way better than having 1,700 alarms that you just choose from.
It's also
just in
makes
case
you
want to wake up at 7:07.
Yeah, it also makes you sleep worse if you sleep then go back to sleep, unless you need it
but
and you can. Unless you need it and you can.
This comes back to the dreams, man. I've been having some fucking sick dreams lately, and I love coming out of the dream at 7 and being like, oh, I had a dream the other day that I was in love, and like,
oh, that's beautiful.
And I was in like, maybe I was about to get married, or I was in just like a super healthy relationship, or there was just
I was living a dream.
I like just I felt that I was in love with this woman.
Whoa, who was she? Tell me more.
I don't know.
Did you ever see her face?
I can't remember. I think I told someone. I thought I told you when I woke up and told that. Maybe that's what the fucking 7-minute.
No, the 7-minute one was like the first message you left was like, I went through a ton. Like we were going from America to Europe on a plane, but instead we used the South American tunnel. And I was like, whoa, that's a crazy dream. Like typed that, and then I could just see that on WhatsApp, that recording audio thing. And then 7 minutes later, I was like, I'm going to listen to that when I can, because I think I was at work or something.
I think, recently I've just been having nice dreams that I want to go back to, but that's such a comfort thing. Like this morning, I didn't go for my run, which was annoying because of the whole water situation, but I did wake up earlier and I woke up to my first alarm. What I'm doing now is putting my phone at the foot of my bed on a chair. Technique. So I have to like get up, sit up out of bed and turn it off. It's just a comfort thing, man. And I know it's frustrating.
I want to read in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, there was a point that I was. That's what's frustrating about these habits that you create or these things that you do, because they're not habits just yet. They're just things that you do for an extended period of time, whether it's the journaling practices that we've gotten into, or reading in the morning, or getting out of bed as soon as you wake up, or drinking a bit of salt water and lemon first thing, or cold shower, any of the things that optimize your day. We've done them, but we've just never done it for like it's never become a part of our lives that it can no longer be in our lives. Like obviously the journaling habit for you was 8 months. For me, it was about 3.
I got pretty good,
but it's something that you're just like every day, this is just what you do. And this is the routine and you're making this choice.
What it is for me is like when you find out these optimized things that you do, working out how to add more stuff in, add new things that you value in, because your day is like a full glass of water. There's only so much time. But I'm realizing just get rid of the things that don't serve you, one, but also like my phone tells me at the end of each week, it's like you spent 3.5 hours on your phone this week. And I was like, what the fuck?
3.5 hours a day.
3.5 hours a day.
Yeah, that's the screen time thing. It says you averaged 3.5 hours on your phone. Not a week.
Oh my god, I'm a fucking animal.
No,
like I've got to put restrictions back on my phone.
But that's also like WhatsApp.
Yeah,
WhatsApp, Instagram. You don't have Facebook.
I've been ignoring the restrictions a lot lately. Sometimes I'll be like, I've got a minute, but I've had things on there that I've needed to click on. No.
Yeah, but that's
that just makes me feel terrible.
Justify.
Oh man.
Tim Ferriss did a YouTube video recently about how
Did you watch it when you woke up?
You know what? I saw it on his Instagram, and instead of watching it when I woke up, I kept scrolling and was like, I'll watch that later.
Yes, I do the same thing.
Because I'd rather ingest
random snippets
of people's lives who fucking I only see once a year. Which when you describe Instagram like that, it's pretty fucking gross. I reckon AC13 could be your son.
He could be, actually.
He looks a lot like, especially just your face is slightly obscure behind your mesh pop filter.
Out to JC13.
Yeah. He could be. But yeah. Sorry, that just derailed.
The Tim Ferriss
YouTube video is about how he has minimized using his phone, and it involves like no social media apps on his phone, no email on his phone, all this stuff, and then he details how he makes posts from his computer on Instagram.
I heard him talk about
it, stuff like that.
Rose. He uses this thing, and I looked up the thing,
which is cool and great. And he's probably got a team of people that help him do stuff, which makes it easier. But it did make me think about doing what I did probably for like 2 weeks, which was delete Instagram and have to re-download it every time I wanted you to do something on it.
That sounds like there's going to be a lot more tasks for Jeff on Instagram.
But that's the thing.
No,
like,
you're right. I've never done the delete thing.
we had that week. Remember that week where like I deleted it and didn't have it for a week, and I was like, "This is fantastic. You can delete it this week." And then you deleted it, and we were both like, "That was great."
Did I delete it?
Yeah, we had 1 week completely off.
I don't remember that. It must have been so good.
And it was awesome. But now with like stories and all this stuff, I mean, you got to be slightly more aware of it. But you can just grab your phone. The issue is you can open Instagram and not fucking scroll. Can you open Instagram and make a post and then ignore it?
I think drafts. When I see Holly do drafts and like that's what's going to be posted in the coming days, I'm like, that's genius. And then I hear some of my other friends be like, "Oh, I did my weekly Instagram check," and I'm like, "Whoa." I mean, they're different people that have different things going on, but yeah, it is.
Justify.
It is a drug that I am addicted to.
We should stop taking the social media drug and start freebasing cocaine.
Social media is cheaper.
Probably more readily available.
But it is a drug. It is like
absolutely,
because the dopamine. I still haven't watched The Social Dilemma.
You should.
I'd like to.
It's really good.
I don't have time. I'm too busy fucking scrolling. Yeah. When I throw my phone to the back of this room, and my phone is always on silent. My phone hasn't. I didn't for the first 6 months of owning a new phone, which I got last year. I didn't know what the ringtone sounded like.
Mm.
And when I did put it on loud, I was like, "Who the fuck's got that generic basic bitch ringtone?" And I was like, "That's me. I'm Jeff." And so it's always on silent. So if I put it to the back of the room on the rug, you don't hear it very well. And I'm working on music, and I do feel freer.
Do you remember when we said
no phones in the studio?
When we first moved into the studio, we said no phones in the studio.
Oh yeah, we're going to get a sign made up and a little box to put them in.
Yeah.
We should do that again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just a box that we can just put them out there. Just a shoebox, and you just like phones in.
Phones.
And it doesn't always have to be phones in the box.
Yes, it does. And if you want a fucking time, you know what?
I'm going to buy an hourglass.
Timer.
I'm going to buy an hourglass.
Why make it so extravagant?
Because
this isn't the fucking
sand is beautiful.
It's not the Museum of Cairo.
But it could be. Think how much you like the museum in Cairo.
We can go. You know what? I'm going to the city on Monday. I will go to a kitchen supply shop and buy a timer.
I don't want one.
I'm
going to buy an hourglass. They're not too expensive. I just want a 40-minute or a 30-minute hourglass.
What do you think it looks like? Like ornate?
Not ornate. And it's not going to be...
You want like a... The problem with an hourglass is that it doesn't go off. You have to notice that there's no fucking silent sand going through it, and that's finished.
You just put it up in front of you under the things.
Don't you want an alarm? Okay. You get what you're going to get, and I'll get what I'm going to get.
This is the perfect thing. This is a perfect example of your autonomy.
Exactly.
You want something that's going to go, meek, 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 and I want silence, and then I'm going to go, wow, I'm running late. I'm not going to use it as an alarm clock. It's basically a Tabata timer.
Yeah, Ciabatta time is fantastic. Bake bread on your own goddamn time. Okay, so from Saturday, we're
Start
back
of May.
It's tomorrow.
No, it's not.
It is. How many days in May?
April 31 doesn't exist. Think about that. So May 1st is Saturday. There's no such thing as April 31.
Okay. I can deal with that. There's 28 days in September. February. Whatever. Gregorian calendar. Okay, so from the 1st of May, there will be no phones in the Ekko and Sidetrack studio. And if you want to make some sort of story or make a post or even answer a phone call or answer a message, you have to leave the room.
What about making a post of something we're doing in the studio?
You take the photo, you take the video, and then you leave.
Whoa, okay.
Because that means like, because you know how it is. Sometimes you sit at the back couch and be like, cool, I'm just posting. And then you post and then you're like, someone liked one of these photos. And then that's what starts the scroll. But if you're sitting out there or standing out there, you don't want to stay out there. You want to be here where the action is.
But what if you do want to be out there and then it becomes the curse of being outside? Like,
then you're hyper aware that you're not in the room.
Yeah, no, I hope that wouldn't happen.
Okay,
but
other thing.
Go on.
If you make a post using my timer, put it on the wall and you click it. And you go outside and you do whatever you want. You can do whatever your brain wants to do. And you come back, say your task is to make a post and reply to something. You do that, and then when you come back, you click the timer and you see who does it in the shortest amount of time.
Whoa.
Because in the first time, if I get caught on Instagram and I'm 15 minutes, I then go, oh my God, it took me 15 minutes to make a post and reply to someone on Instagram.
So we're just going to become hyper aware of how much this stuff takes.
Yeah, because
live ideas.
We make it a competition as well. So whoever has the shortest time to do the longest task. So obviously, if you post a photo and we agree on the copy before...
I'm building a paper mache volcano down here. It's ready to blow. It's a 3-day task and I've done it in 2.
If we, it has to be equal tasks. So like posting a photo and then we agree upon the copy, you can go out there and do it in a minute. But if I've got to post a video and come up with something or whatever it is, we'll agree on
If we're agreeing on it, do we both go out there?
No. Because that's then a waste of time. Because say if I take a photo of you in the studio and I say, I'm going to post it on the story and just say, AC13's dad is working in the studio, or make something funny or something, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go, what do you think, Jeff? And you go, that sounds good. And then I get up, click the timer, go outside, make the post. If I want to reply to that story, or if
and then
Jay sees that and goes, haha, that's funny.
And then you've got to put the phone in the box and then you just leave it.
But if someone comes back and say, oh, that's funny, or repost or something like that, if I want to check that and then repost or reply to someone's message, I then have to go outside again.
Okay, we'll talk more about this off air.
So literally just nothing is done on phones in this room. I think that's an exciting idea. Match that with the hourglass and the timer. We got ourselves a real factory going on. Let's listen to this dream because I bet the listeners really want to hear it too.
Maybe we just play a snippet. All right. I'm going to get it on my phone.
Okay. So we've found the audio. We're going to now listen to it.
At 12 o'clock on Saturday.
PM or AM?
PM, 12:40. You wrote, I just awoke from the maddest dream. I was on a flight back from America to the UK, but we took the South American tunnel. Ah, the Sunnel. Good route. That's what I said. And then you recorded a 7-minute clip. And then said, I can probably do a shorter one. I just literally woke up and recorded.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I'll listen soon. And I was like, was it a good sleep? And you said, I had a Valium. So let's listen.
I'm just going to speak this because it's going to be way easier. Basically, we took the tunnel, the South American tunnel, because it was faster. So the South American tunnel basically started in one of the Central American countries, and they were kind of used as a backdoor system, almost like it may be an illegal way to travel around the world. And suddenly, I can't see any of the other plane. I can only see the chair. I'm having like a fucking freak out moment where like it's just me, the chair, and rising, and I keep touching these power lines and I hold on to them for fear. The captain kind of comes up to me and says, "Look, I need a co-pilot." And I'm like, "What? Isn't there someone else?" Look, I've just had this anxious period where I've fucking thought I was out of the plane, like dealing with power lines and floating in the air. And he's like, "Look, I just need another man next to me." Okay, we know where we're going, we know where we are. And they're in some sort of like weird...
I'm not going to lie, I want 7 minutes of my life back, eh?
I remember that dream.
Do you remember that dream?
Yeah, I remember the tunnels, and I remember the idea that I thought I was on a commercial flight, and then the captain, who clearly I didn't get along with, said it became apparent. You know, things just happen in your dreams, and you accept it. It became apparent that they had kind of hijacked the plane and were just like smugglers and were taking us to this guy's boat.
That sounds way more interesting than what you just described in your dream.
I'll edit it down to a couple of minutes.
Honestly, listening to someone's dream is like, if it's cohesive, it's arguably kind of boring. But if it's like that was more like a drug-addled, like, misremembering of a past life.
Yeah.
That had like interesting moments, but like it just wasn't very concise.
But I think dreams are never supposed to be concise stories. Like, dreams are never supposed to be these, like, remembering a dream and telling that as a story is never supposed to be fit of a telling a story in front of a crowd or anything. I think they're more little insights into cool ideas. So like,
yeah, totally.
Like, you know, the cool idea that I take from that is the idea of like tunnels, flying in a tunnel, and how crazy it would be if if planes only flew. Air pollution got so bad that they built these giant tunnels that could fit basically like the Graham Farmer Freeway in the air, except it was wide enough for two planes to fly side by side.
Yeah, it's crazy. I like your frame of reference as well.
Blowing people's minds out here. The Graham Farmer Freeway, for anyone not from Perth, is
a tunnel.
Is it just a tunnel? It's a tunnel that goes for about 1 kilometre. But it's
a little bit longer than 1 kilometre.
Is it our only tunnel in Perth?
Essentially, yes.
We have one tunnel, and it got built
15
years ago.
Yeah, but it changed the game, though.
It did, as did Graham Farmer when he played AFL.
Well, having heard snippets of your dream, I'm now even hungrier. So let's wrap this podcast up.
Sweet. It's been great.
It has been great. And I think we've got some new practices we're going to bring into the studio. If you've got a practice that we should bring into the studio, get in touch and make a suggestion. Hit us on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll check our phones outside of the studio.
Sounds like a great idea.
See you, buddy. I love you. It's weird because I'm going to literally just stop recording. It doesn't have the same bang.
Yeah.
Are we going to make a new intro?
Yeah, we have to. I'm not going to do it now.
Absolutely not.
But we are. Maybe
right.
Next week's we'll have a new intro.
Stay tuned, folks.
See ya.
See ya.
I love you too, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. I love you.
Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Make sure you subscribe to us on your podcast app and keep up to date with all new episodes. They're going to be coming out once a week. We are Ekko and Sidetrack on Facebook and Instagram. On Twitter, we are Ekko Sidetrack. Go listen to our music on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube, or wherever your ears consume happiness. Lots of love, people.